Hi everyone, I'm James, and today we're going to be sorting out the rear brakes. I'll be fitting new drums, so I have those nice performance ones to put on. I've got new screws as well. I have previously checked these over and adjusted them so everything's sitting right here. One of the jobs I need to do today though is I now have the clips for the cylinders, so I'm going to pull everything off and clean up the backing plate so that the cylinder has the proper space to slide on. At the moment it's a bit rusty. So I'm just going to remove the retaining springs.
Now removing the upper brake shoe spring.
There we go. Top spring loose.
And then just removing the handbrake lever split pin before the brake shoes can come out.
Best way to get this cylinder out. That's the current retaining mechanism. Alright, with that all disassembled, it's now time to clean things up.
Here I'm using a wire brush attachment to clean up the backing plate around the area that the brake cylinder slides on.
Alright, just to confuse things, that's a metric lead screw. I have another one on hand, so I'll just reuse it, but okay, note. Since it's rusty anyway, I probably want to change it out at some point. So before I do all of that, put some copper grease on here. Okay, same colour as it was before. Particularly want to get it in the little recess that the pivot pin for the handbrake sits in.
Just messing around trying to figure out how the clips actually fit properly.
Okay, so a bit of research, and the best way to put these clips in by the sound of it is to start off with the sprung clip that goes with the top of the curve towards the outside of the car, and this one goes in past the handbrake lever. So we will, there we go. Easier when it comes in the right position. I think there we go. So that's slipped in there, just putting everything in place. And now the horseshoe shaped piece that slides inboard of the first clip. Okay, there you should be able to just make out the lower and upper clip underneath everything. And there's the edge of the handbrake over there. Focus. There we go. So it all goes on there, and now I just need to stretch the boot over it.
With the dust protector in place, I then proceeded to do up the brake hose flexi pipe. This is a rather slow and awkward process with the way the mountings are positioned, but it is doable eventually.
So just comparing to the other side. The bottom spring goes through 2 holes like so, so count, out. Pull that into place. And this goes. Spring back in place. Okay, I'm just going to drill out the hole in the clip on the back of the back plate because the original hole's gone and someone's made a second one, but it isn't big enough for the spring.
So that's the handbrake lever all connected. Now I just need to adjust the brake shoes to fit the new brake drum. Now don't waste time doing what I'm doing here, adjusting the brake adjuster to its minimum setting until you've actually made sure the brake shoes are aligned in the center of the housing. If you do that first, you won't need nearly as much adjustment to get the new brake drum on.
That's that side all done. I just need to do the other side. Okay, so we now have 1 and 2 rear brakes all serviced, including the handbrake cable all connected. I've also greased the handbrake cable where it goes through the 3 brackets. That's the center one there on the actual lever. There's the left hand bracket. And over here is the right hand bracket. Here we have the assembled handbrake cable attachment to the brake lever. Quite a heavy replacement spring there, which gives the handbrake handle a bit more feel, which is nice. I've also adjusted the brake adjuster here to make sure the pads are only just dragging on the drum. I've finished the handbrake. Unfortunately, in the process, despite putting it in a proper tray, the circlip escaped. So here's a handy tip for when you're restoring a vehicle during lockdown when you can't get to a shop. The old rear brake cylinder clips are also the exact right size for a 1/2 inch circlip. So I put that on there, bent it around a little bit so it stays put, and that's doing the job. and holding the brake lever relatively tight. Could be a bit tighter, but the proper circlip should do that job. Okay, I have now bled the brakes, and that was not as simple as it should have been, and it was one of those jobs where it was more complicated than, this will be interesting to put on YouTube. It was more, oh crap. So we now have bled brakes with nice clean brake fluid. Now the problem I had was, despite them seemingly working, the front calipers, when I went to bleed the brakes, I thought I'd better give them a quick check first. The pads weren't as easy to retract as they should have been. These pads here, you can just use a pair of slip jaw pliers or something like that, squeeze them back, noting that these are fixed calipers. They bolt directly onto the spindle and have cylinders on either side. So I took them off and discovered that all but one of the cylinders was almost completely seized. These two on the driver's side were just working. They moved about 1 millimeter each. On the passenger side, one of them was completely seized and the other one was free to move. So that's why the whole system kind of worked. So what I did yesterday, with a lot of hammering and sweating and cursing, I pulled them apart, tidied up the cylinders. They had quite a bit of pitting on them. I've cleaned that up for now and ordered some new calipers to replace these. At some point I'll order some new pistons and refurbish these ones and put them back on, but my initial thought was I'll just get new calipers so we're all happy and safe. And that order's also got a few extra presents in it as well, so I'll be fitting those in a future video.
I'll put a link in here to a great video by Chris Fisher. This shows the full disassembly process for the brake caliper and how to refurbish them back to a good working order.
So, with that all done, I could then bleed the brakes. That led to the next problem. I couldn't get anything but a teeny tiny bit of air out of the bleed valve on the driver's side rear wheel. So pulled that wheel brake all to bits again and discovered a teeny bit of dirt stuck in the tube for the cylinder that goes to the bleed valve. And yeah, I did try blowing it out with air for taking it all to bits, but that wasn't working. I ended up having to stick a piece of wire down the hole to sort that out. But nevertheless, everything's bled and working again now. So the last job is to refit the suspension parts, and here's one I prepared earlier. So there's the refurbished swing arm all back in place, and now I thought I'd show you, since it turned out to be a little more technical than I thought, just getting everything to line up, that we'll have a look at the other side. So let's go do that.
Actually, no, I think this video has gone long enough already, so we'll save that for another time. So with that, thanks for watching. Please think about subscribing. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, and I will catch you next time. Drop me a line in the comments if you got any questions. See ya.